Good morning, Dr. Antonio German. Welcome to the Belder Beebe Show. How are you today?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm so excited to talk with you because you were the topic of discussion in my group meeting. Because we're going to talk about, are you being overcharged at your doctor's office? I can tell you everybody on my team said yes, but we'll see what you say. Okay, are we really paying more at our doctor's office? We're just biased.
This is an issue that I think your listeners are seeing every day, and I know my patients are. But an issue that is really pertinent to this is that we're seeing healthcare consumers and many of my patients that really are unaware of when hospitals acquire smaller practices. And this is driving up costs for everyday patients. And what is happening is hospitals are allowed to add on an additional fee when care is delivered in that setting when they're affiliated. And it's really nothing more than an upcharge. We know that in recent research that when this type of care is delivered, similarly in my clinic as to a clinic that's affiliated with a hospital, that those prices and charges actually increase by about 14%.
What's the impact on patients as hospitals, as you termed it, swallow up practices and the practices are no longer independent? How does that impact us?
Yeah, really simply, we know that when people can't afford the care they need, they're going to deliver or have worse health outcomes. A recent study showed that about half of Americans find it difficult to get the care they need. And as a result, about 1 in 4 of those are going to skip taking their medication or getting a recommended intervention like a surgery or procedure that they might need. As hospitals continue to consolidate, as they're driven by with this issue, we're only going to see this problem worsen. And as we see more and more spending unnecessarily, we see costs go up, and for everyone, we're going to see all of our insurance premiums go up.
Okay, I so agree with that. Is there any answer to that? Let me tell you why I don't believe there's an answer to this. People are now trying to go to these minute clinics or these clinics that are not doctors. They wait until they get sick. Well, I had that experience because I had COVID last year. The mini clinic is higher than my doctor. So there's no answer for us as a consumer. Or do you have answers that I just don't know?
Well, I think there is some really important legislation that people are growing more aware of it, and that's site neutral payments. And it really is trying to even the playing field and understanding that if you come to my community health clinic, you're going to get excellent care, and you'll get similar care in a clinic that's affiliated with a hospital. But the question is, why should somebody pay more in one clinic versus the next? And why is there a discrepancy between that? I think that this is an intervention that we can do that is sound policy and also really promoting the continuity of care. In a healthcare clinic like mine, I'm not there just to see you for an urgent care visit in the context that you see there. I'm there for a holistic approach, which most primary care clinics are. But as we see some of these clinics rise up, there's an incentive for hospitals to purchase up smaller clinics. And again, what it's leading to is just a really higher cost for individuals for their deductibles and their co-pays. And so I think we can really be instrumental in pushing forward site neutral payment reform.
Also, too, it seems like there's pressure being put on the doctors. I don't know how doctors are wanting to be in practice. I'm reading from one of my posters. They say that their insurance company now requires them to get a list of the services that will be performed prior to seeing a doctor, so they will pay. Otherwise, they will not. They'll get a denial of services. So you guys have a lot more work to do. And now I notice that my doctor's office, I think he has an insurance department along with the medical staff. So a lot of costs are heaped back on you guys. So once again, what's the answer?
Yeah, I think we need greater transparency. I mean, I think everybody is well aware of how opaque costs are for different procedures or different interventions or even prescription medications. I think a lot of providers are really frustrated by that. I think with this issue specifically is that the legislation across this country looking at this site neutral payment is really to inform and empower everyday consumers of healthcare to support their decision making and also give greater awareness for providers to make sure that they're aware that when they're recommending an intervention or treatment for a patient, that they're doing it with an informed decision with their patient.
I want my audience to know I'm speaking with Dr. Antonio Germann. He's a family physician. Dr. Germann, you've been so very candid and helpful. Where do we go online and get more information so we can get more power? Because we feel powerless as the patient.
Sorry about that. Yeah, really excited about that. A lot of great information come out there, and the site samepricenow.org. That samepricenow.org is really just an informative website to help your listeners get more grounded in this issue.
Dr. Antonio Germann, my listeners and my viewers just are going to adore the information that you have passed on to us. Have a great day and a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.